Illustrate question. This is the question in which they ask us to explain how. How what? We're going to see. Copy the title, copy the subtitle, explain how, and we're going to see what does the question look like. The question looks like this. It's kind of a reverse question. They say, which quotation from to you or from whatever title they are putting here most effectively illustrates the claim. So before they ask this question, they show you a very small text that just kind of explain what a text does. Like it could be a poem, it could be a piece of a short story, it could be a piece of a novel. But basically what they want is to look for the part of that story, of that novel, or of that poem. So basically, you're looking for what part of the novel says what they want you to say. Okay, the strategy goes like this. This is pretty much the same or very similar to previous strategies. So we read the question carefully, we find keywords, we predict, we analyze, and we eliminate the wrong choices. Things we don't do. It's pretty much the same thing. You don't have to copy this. And we are going to check the question. First, I'm going to explain the question before I give you time to solve it. So here's an example. First, they give you the explanation of the piece of work. So they tell you the name of the poem or the piece of work. They tell you when it was written, who is the author, and then they explain what it's doing. Suggests that readers, blah, 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 have not fully understood themselves writing. And then the question is saying, okay, so which quotation from all of these quotations from that piece of work effectively illustrates the claim? The claim that they are referring to is this claim. The claim that is this piece of work, this poem, this whatever it is, does this and that. In this case, to suggest that the readers have not fully understood themselves writing. And what you have to choose is which option from the alternatives does that or has that purpose. My advice, as always, is treat it very superficially, do it from process of elimination, do it from the just use of keywords, and try not to overanalyze things. Okay, I want you to pause the video right now, solve this question, and I'm going to explain it. Okay, you already solved it, you wrote down your answer. Now we're going to explain how to solve it. We're going to analyze the text. So first, we analyze the prompt. This is the prompt, the question. So they tell us the name of the poem. So the poem is called To You, and the date of the poem, the author of the poem. Sometimes the date of the poem is important because we know the kind of language they're going to use. In this case, is 1856, which means they're going to use Old English, which means we have to get ready to look at some words that we may not be familiar with. We may have never heard them, or we may have heard them but not know how to use. So again, we are not focusing on that. Okay, and then the claim. What is the claim? Whitman suggests that readers, whom he addresses directly, have not fully understood themselves. And then this is the alternative. This is our X, what we're looking for. So we're going to focus on this for a moment, and we want, according to the blue part, we want readers whom he addresses directly. This poem, or this portion, whatever the portion is, or whatever the portion says, is going to address the readers directly. To address someone directly is to tell them you. In your native language, it may be a different thing, but it's basically using the second person, the grammatical second person. So you do this, you do that, I am talking to you. This is how we address someone directly. So in whatever the right alternative is, it's going to address the reader directly by talking to you. And the second part, the green part, they say, have not fully understood themselves. So we're looking for something in which they say you, and then just something like, you don't understand yourself. Okay. Now, of course, it's not going to literally say you don't understand yourself, but we want that. We very much want that idea. We want the idea that the portion of the poem says you don't understand yourself, or don't understand yourself completely or fully, right? Okay, now we are going to analyze each alternative, again, applying process of elimination. So we, just by looking at the alternatives, right, we see, okay, in A, they're talking to the reader directly using you. In B, they're talking to you directly. In C, they're talking about I should do this, I should do this, and then I should have chanted nothing but you. But it's not really talking to you, right? It's like what I should have done. So it's not really talking to anybody. Pretend somebody is writing a letter to you, an email, or a WhatsApp. They're talking to you directly. They're not talking about what I should be doing or not. And the none has understood you, but I understand you. Okay, this kind of is talking to you. Okay, you could say that it's addressing the reader, but it's not really telling the reader that he or she should be doing something or not. Okay, now we're going to compare the alternatives to the keywords from the prompt. So we have, you have not known what you are. Oh, well, they are almost literally telling us that you, like the directly, okay, have not known what you are. Okay, so they're telling me that I don't know, not fully understood. Okay, so this is gonna pass. We're gonna move on to the letter B. You are immense and interminable. Okay, so it is talking directly. It's going to address the reader directly. Yes, that's, we check that one, that part. But this is about the reader not understanding themselves. Like, you don't understand yourself. You don't know yourself. Remember, the prediction is you don't know yourself. Here it just says you are immense and interminable. Now, you could assume or you could infer that someone who is immense, like if I say you are immense, you are interminable, then I can infer from that you don't understand yourself completely because you're so immense that you don't understand. But if we remember from the very first video, the text doesn't say it, right? And if the text doesn't say it, it doesn't exist. So even though they're talking, they're describing these you as immense and interminable, they're not saying that they don't understand. Maybe someone is immense and understands him or herself. So we are going to eliminate letter B. We're going to check letter C. I should have babbled nothing but you. Okay, but it's talking about you. Okay, let's, we eliminated that, but let's say let's make the you pass. Still not talking about how you don't understand yourself. It's talking about how I should or shouldn't have done nothing. So I'm going to eliminate that. Here I want to make a parenthesis because what does bubble mean? Well, here you have an apostrophe, so it's bubble, but we know what bubble is, but you don't have to know. Okay, we don't really have to know these words because let's say this is run. I should have run. Okay, but still talking about what I should have done, not what you should have done or what you did. So even if I don't understand the verb, I can easily eliminate this because it's not complying with what I'm looking for, which is this text should talk about how you don't know yourself. So we eliminate letter C and we check letter D. None has understood you. Okay, very close because there's something about understanding, but this is saying that nobody understands you. But what we want is you don't understand yourself, right? This is what we want. So we're going to eliminate letter D. Therefore, the answer is going to be letter A. So you have not know what you are, so you have not fully understood yourself. Now, you're gonna tell me I don't understand what this you have not to know what you are. I don't talk like that. None of my friends talk like that. I have never read this form of English in my life. Okay, doesn't matter. Again, as I told you, we do it by superficial words, right? So we have the you, we have the not know, and we have the what you are. You can, I think you can totally understand this part. Even if you don't ever use it, even if you haven't checked this form of writing or spelling or talking before, you can understand the words, and by understanding the words you can understand the meaning. And again, you don't really have to comprehend the purpose of this meaning or when to use it this way or why people talk like that. We don't care. We just care that it matches. Not understanding yourself, you don't know what you are. Perfect, this is my answer. Again, this is how we are going to solve this type of question in a very superficial word. So things to remember, we want to be precise. Remember, words mean what they mean. So if they say you are immense, just by saying that you're immense, it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't understand yourself just by being immense, right? So just by saying that it's summer, you could say, okay, it is summer. And so you're going to check the alternative that says it is hot. Well, but maybe it's a cold day in summer. So just because it's summer doesn't necessarily mean that it's hot unless the text says it. If the text doesn't say it, even if it's common sense, even if in real life that's the case, we don't care. Second, don't rely on your memory. Always read and double check alternative word by word. Don't rely on just, okay, I just read it, I memorized it, and I'm going to check. No. And finally, match the keyword. The correct answer will match with the text. Now, if you had the Meltzer book, you can practice doing this. As I said, you can also practice using Khan Academy or the official practice test. And we're going to continue in the next video.